Addie never believed in love at first sight. He used to laugh at people who said they met their soulmate online. "How can you love someone you've never seen in real life?" he would ask. But that was before Stella. It started with a simple hi on a dating app. Addie had been scrolling mindlessly that night, lying on his small bed after another long shift at the hospital. He worked as a nurse, and though the job paid well, it left him feeling empty. His parents were comfortable, living in a good neighborhood in a Nigerian town. But that didn't matter. What Addie wanted most was love, someone to call his own. Then he met Stella. Her profile picture was breathtaking. Smooth dark skin, long braids, full lips that seemed to whisper secrets. And when she texted back, her words felt like magic. "Good evening, Ade. I just knew you were special the moment I saw your message." His heart pounded. From that night on, Ade and Stella became inseparable, at least through their screens. They texted morning till night, their conversations stretching into the early hours. Ade would wake up excited, knowing Stella was just a message away. His friends noticed the change. One evening, Ade's best friend, Amika, playfully teased him. "Bro, you don't have time for us anymore. Ever since you started this online love, you've forgotten your friends." Ade chuckled and waved it off. "You guys just don't get it. You're only jealous because I've found love." At first, his friends thought he was joking. But as the weeks went by, Ade started ignoring their calls. He stopped hanging out with them, stopped replying in their group chat. Whenever they invited him out, his response was always the same. "I'm busy. I'm talking to my baby." Eventually, he cut them off completely. "I don't need friends," he told himself. "Stella is all I need." Ada's world began to shrink, revolving around his phone screen and the messages he shared with Stella. At work, his distraction became obvious. He moved through the hospital halls like a ghost, barely acknowledging his colleagues, barely registering his surroundings. His patients, once his top priority, became afterthoughts. He would check his phone between administering medication, scroll through messages while filling out charts, and even steal glances during patient consultations. Whispers followed him in the break room. Nurses exchanged concerned looks. Doctors frowned when they noticed his sluggish responses. It was only a matter of time before someone spoke up. One afternoon, as Ade absent-mindedly scrolled through his phone while standing at the nurse's station, a sharp voice broke through his haze. "Ade, a word." He looked up to see Mrs. Oho, the head nurse, watching him with folded arms. She was a tall, commanding woman in her mid-40s, with piercing eyes that missed nothing. She had once praised Ade as one of the most promising young nurses in the hospital, but now her expression held only disappointment. Ade swallowed and followed her into her office. The moment the door closed behind him, she turned to face him. "Ade, what's going on with you?" she asked, her voice firm but laced with genuine concern. "You used to be one of our best nurses, dedicated, attentive. Now all you do is press your phone. You barely even look at your patients anymore. Do you know how dangerous that is?" Ade shifted uncomfortably, gripping his phone like a lifeline. "I'm fine, Ma," he muttered. "Just a lot on my mind." Mrs. Oyo's gaze narrowed. "A lot on your mind?" "Ade, this is a hospital, not a chat room. You're dealing with people's lives. One mistake, just one, could cost someone dearly. Pay attention before that happens." She exhaled, shaking her head. "Consider this your warning." Ade nodded, mumbling an apology, but as he stepped out of the office, He barely heard her words. His fingers instinctively unlocked his phone. A new message from Stella waited for him. And just like that, the world around him faded once more. One evening, as the hospital buzzed with its usual rhythm of beeping monitors and hurried footsteps, Ade sat at the nurse's station, his attention buried in his phone. His deep brown skin glowed under the fluorescent lights as he typed away, lost in a world far removed from the patients who depended on him. Somewhere in the background, a weak, wheezing sound broke through the hum of hospital life. An elderly patient under Ade's care was struggling to breathe. His frail chest rose and fell erratically, his fingers twitching as if reaching for help. But Ade barely noticed. His world was on the screen. Stella was texting him. "I wish you were here with me," she had written. Ade smiled, his heart fluttering. He typed back quickly, his fingers moving with excitement. "Me too, my love." The old man's breathing turned into soft gasps. His body jerked weakly, fighting against the inevitable. The machines beeped in warning, calling for the nurse who should have been at his side. But Ade was too busy. Every message from Stella was more important than the fragile life slipping away in front of him. Then a terrible thought crept into his mind. One so dark it made his fingers pause over his phone screen. "If this man dies, I won't have to take care of him. I'll have more time for Stella." His idea sat there, heavy and unmoving, like a stone at the bottom of a deep well. His breath hitched as he stared at the patient, his mind battling itself. And then, without fully thinking, his hands moved. His fingers wrapped around a syringe, pulling it from a nearby tray. The liquid inside was clear, harmless looking, yet powerful enough to lull even the strongest body into silence. His grip tightened as he slowly injected it into the IV. The old man's body stiffened for a moment. His lips parted in one last attempt to pull in air. Then the struggle stopped. His chest fell and never rose again. The monitors let out a long, empty beep. Ade stared at the lifeless body, waiting for a rush of guilt, for panic, for regret. But there was nothing. No fear, no sadness, just silence. His phone vibrated in his hand. "I miss you," Stella had texted. Ade swallowed, ignoring the corpse in front of him. He typed back with steady fingers. "I miss you too, my love." That was the moment everything changed. The hospital launched an investigation, and the truth unraveled quickly. Within days, Ade was fired. His parents were devastated, their faces twisted with disappointment and horror. "Ade, what is wrong with you?" his father shouted, his voice raw with disbelief. "You killed a man. For a woman you've never even met?" But Ade didn't care. None of it mattered. He had Stella, and love needed money. Stella started asking for small things. "Baby, I need money for data." "Love, I need a new dress." "Sweetheart, if you love me, you'll make sure I never lack anything." Ade sent her everything she asked for. At first it was his salary, then his savings. But after losing his job, there was no more money coming in. And yet Stella still needed more. "Ade, if you really love me, you'll find a way," she texted one evening. Ade's heart clenched. How could he let his queen suffer? He started stealing from his parents. Small amounts at first, then more. Then he began taking loans in their name. When his father confronted him, Ade shouted back, "I did it for Stella. She's my life." His father slapped him. "You're a disgrace," his father spat. "Get a job and fix your life." Ade's blood boiled. How could they not understand? In anger, he packed his bags and left. But before leaving, he made up a story to tell his aunt. "Auntie, I had to leave the house. My parents don't support my dreams. They don't believe in love, and they want to control my life. I couldn't take it anymore." His aunt, a kind woman, believed him. She welcomed him into her home and even gave him money when he asked. But that wasn't enough. Aid still needed more for Stella, so he did to her what he did to his parents. He stole. When she found out, she was furious. "Ada, I took you in because I thought you needed help. And this is how you repay me?" "Auntie, you don't understand," he argued. "I did it for love." She looked at him with disgust. "Get out of my house." Aid was homeless, but even that didn't stop him. With nowhere else to go, Ade returned home. His father was reluctant to take him back, but his mother pleaded. "Let's give him one last chance," she whispered. His father sighed. "Fine, but on one condition. You must stop talking to that girl." Ade froze. Stop talking to Stella? It felt like someone had asked him to stop breathing. How could he ever do that? But he had no choice. "Yes, Papa, I will stop." But he lied. Every night when his parents were asleep, he would sneak his phone under the covers and text Stella. He couldn't live without her. One night his father caught him. "You're still talking to that girl?" his father roared. Ade tried to deny it, but the evidence was right there in his phone. His father had had enough. "Get out of my house!" This time there was no turning back. As Ade left his father's house, he managed to get a cheap lodge. So one fateful evening, as Ade lay on a dirty mattress, his phone buzzed. It was Stella. "Baby, I have a problem. I need money urgently. Please, you love me? Do something." His hands shook. He had nothing left to give. His bank account was empty. His debts had piled up, and his family had turned their backs on him. He had lost everything because of Stella. Then a thought, dark and twisted, came to him. My parents have money, a lot of money. If I can take it from them, everything will be fine. Stella will love me even more. Ade sat up, his breathing heavy. Could he really do it? He closed his eyes and imagined Stella's beautiful face, her soft voice, her sweet words. "Yes," he whispered, "I have to do it for her." But he couldn't do it alone. He needed help. That night, Ade went out into the streets, searching for some of the homeless men he used to see around town. He found 3 of them huddled under a bridge, shivering in the cold. "I have a job for you," Ade said, lowering his voice. "It's dangerous, but if we pull it off, we'll be rich." The men looked at him, curious but suspicious. "What kind of job?" one of them asked. "A simple robbery. My parents are wealthy. They have money locked away in a safe. We break in, take the money, and disappear." The men exchanged glances. They had nothing to lose. They agreed. The night was quiet when Ade and his new friends approached his parents' house. The house he had grown up in. The house that once held warmth and love. Now just a means to an end. Ade knew the back door was weak. He had broken in once before when he forgot his keys as a teenager. He led the men through the darkness, his hands sweating as he turned the knob. It opened. They crept inside, their footsteps light on the tiled floor. Ade led them straight to the study where his father kept the safe. "Hurry," he whispered, his heart racing. One of the men pulled out a crowbar, wedging it into the safe's lock. But just as they started prying it open, a light flickered on upstairs. "Who's there?" came his father's voice. Panic surged through Ade. Faster, he hissed. His mother's voice followed, filled with fear. Adai, is that you? His father started coming down the stairs. Adai's hands shook. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Then everything went wrong. His father saw them. Adai, what have you done? He shouted. The men panicked. One of them grabbed a lamp and threw it, missing his father by inches. His mother screamed, rushing to the phone. We have to get out of here, one of the men yelled. But it was too late. The neighbors had heard the commotion. Sirens wailed in the distance. No, 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 Aide whispered, frozen in place. The front door burst open. The police stormed in, guns drawn. Hands up! Aide's heart sank as cold metal handcuffs snapped around his wrists. He looked up and saw his father's eyes filled with disappointment. His mother was crying. I did it for love, Aide mumbled as the police dragged him away. Adi was sentenced to prison along with the men he had recruited. His parents refused to visit him. They couldn't bear to see their son, the boy they had once loved, become a criminal. As the prison doors shut behind him, reality hit him hard. He had lost everything: his job, his family, his freedom. And worst of all, he never even got to meet the love of his life, Stella. She had stopped replying to his messages the moment she realized he had no more money left to give. Adi sat on his prison bed staring at the cold walls and finally understood. He had been in love with a ghost.